Hey, Derek here, Castaway Studios. Just an update on some tiny little changes I've made to the studio, and some may seem exciting and some may not. But first thing is to get these novelty glasses. I don't remember ordering them, but I must have seen them on a clickbait and bought them many months ago, and they arrived, but I can't see through them. That is thug life for you. So what I'm going to show you now is, hopefully if I get this right, bam. Okay, so there's the view. That there is the view from my Panasonic Lumix G95 running through the Bird-Dog Flex backpack. So it's full NDI from that position. So step one, I'm going to show you this guy. If I can, don't know if I've shown you before, but this little guy, Enttec. All right, so Enttec Open DMX USB. Wasn't too dear. So this is the DMX cable that would have run. Oh, just give us a sec. I can do this, yes. So that's the DMX cable that goes to my lights in a big chain, right? And that's it, the old-fashioned USB. I can't remember what number it is, but it's the printer-style cable. Okay, so that has taken place of a Chauvet DJ Obey 40 that I had strapped to the edge of the table here. All right, so just to give you an idea, and maybe I'm just wondering, I've actually forgot to do it, but I'm going to try very hard to show you. I haven't set it up, but I'm going to, put myself under a bit of pressure. So as you'll see, there's the TV screen, and that's coming from the other Bird-Dog P200 camera, and that is some kind of website, right? So bear with me, and what I'm going to do is get into my settings, find a desktop capture number 4, and I'm actually going to change one of my layers. I'm going to call it layer 5, and I'm going to change it. So there you go. One day I'll do a little demo on how that works. All right, so taking a bit of a gamble here, and this is why I don't live stream. So when I press this button, yes, okay. So you have my other monitor, the monitor that I'm looking at. So it's just to my left, so pardon me if I look away. So that's the Qlight Controller Plus software, which is, can't remember whether it's free or whatever you call it, but anyway, maybe it's a donationware or something like that. Don't quote me. So I've set up these scenes, okay? So I've put in how many devices? 1, 2, 3, 4 devices. So I have a bar across. Let me just turn one on. We'll call it magenta and magenta. No, I won't. I'm going to call it rainbow. All right. So I'll give you a quick look at that. Okay. So what I've done is all of these scenes I've just made one scene and duplicated, then gone through and changed the different things. So down here you'll see the tabs for the settings of the different devices. So I have some going up the pillars there. I have identical devices. You'll see them there. So if I set this to, I call this cinema, because it just puts a bit of color in the room, and it doesn't have the center one. So if you look in the middle of that desk, you'll notice that all of them also include the kind of whitish light coming from above, from just a par. What is it called? It's called a Mega Par Profile Plus. So these are all fairly inexpensive RGB lights. So yeah, I've just set them all up. I've set them to flow. I've set a few flowing programs and things like that, but I haven't really spent much time looking into how to do all that stuff. I just got it so that I can have a bit of colour in the room. All right, so if I'm, I quite like, my favourite one is the deep orange, subtle blue and red. It's very, very subtle. Deep orange and orange. That's the one that I have on during the day when I'm sitting in here working. All right, so next interesting thing. Let me see if I can get this right. There's me. Okay, so I'm going to take you on a bit of a tour using camera 2. This is where things could get loose. All right, so first thing I'll do, and hopefully this works now, I've said it would, is I'll show you how I hit the preset when I'm recording. So in this room, either side of that desk fixed to the wall, I have a P200 camera by Bird-Dog, PTZ camera using NDI. So if I go 7 and call, wham. So that's my preset for someone who's sitting there doing a podcast in that sort of host position. And of course there's another one. Now I'll give you a look. So there's another one on the other side of the room. That is, actually I'm using it right now. It's pointing straight at me, so I'm not going to move it around. But the big feature of today's changes is this. Rather than be on a tripod, I've moved these babies onto, now I'd normally mess with exposure and everything, but maybe I can. Maybe I'll just give it a bit more. Maybe I won't. Oh, all right, because it's the other camera. All right. So that's the camera that's pointing at me right now. All right. So another awesome thing I reckon is, I've got those pretty cheap soft lights from New Ear, something like that. But the best thing is this. So that holder is pinned to the wall, so I can swing it out and swing it right around, and it also is telescopic. So I can and you can make it go up or down. So I can turn it around and have it just over the shoulder of this guest, pointing in the face of the other guest. And this is going to get weird, but you'll see. There it is. There's the one that's just on top of this current camera. And you see? So it's just above the camera and it's pointing down in the face of this guest here and staying away from my backlights. So those strange monoliths, they are another feature I wanted to talk to you about. They are they're my acoustic panels that I make. They're sort of made to fit exactly a bat. What do you call them? An insulation bat panel to go between 450 centered studs. So what I do is I get the fancy acoustic version of that, make up those frames, put that in there exactly, cover it with cloth, and I've got a staple gun, and I boom, 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 staple it. So on the back there's some tartan cloth, I think, in those ones, and that was all right. And I used to have them behind the curtains everywhere just to really catch bass and prevent reflection, get a better audio. But if you have a look, my next innovation, this is a new one we haven't talked about yet, is I've made these little stands. So see those little stands there? They're just your classic post stands from the hardware store. They come galvanized. I've painted them black. And then just like a piece of pine with the corners cut off. So these little guys can stand up by themselves. I'm not going to be able to get a good... It's too dark to be doing any decent focusing. But they're just like a stirrup. And I just have it sitting straight in there. So I can take them off, turn them around, or I can put them aside, pack them up for a different purpose. But they really do capture the audio and stop it reflecting off the wall. And it does allow me to keep this back wall, and I can roll a backdrop down in front of it, and they're still absorbing sound, whether it be a green screen or white or black or whatever. I use the white one because I have a projector. Let's have a look. Up there, but I don't use it for professional purposes because it's a cheap projector and it's too loud. So one day I'd like to get a nice projector that's not too loud. So that's the table, and that you can also see. See if I can get this right first time. Right there. Okay, without the above light on there. So that's it. That's pretty much your little tour of the new stuff. Today's job was to pin the bird dogs to the wall. That was the whole point in making up that space. So the bird dogs were on tripods and there was cables and stuff everywhere. So now they're on the official bird dog wall mount, which kind of comes out enough for me to sort of put in where the crack in the curtains is and hide it in there. And it's awesome. It just makes the room feel so much more inviting, and it doesn't feel like you're surrounded by tech. That's for sure, because the primary use of this is podcasting. And so I reckon that's it. So 2021's going real good. I'll be getting on doing some live streams soon with some questions and stuff, but I'll be setting up that format soon so that I can sort of list the different topics that I reckon I can help with. All right. See you later.